Welcome to the WordsOnline e-commerce training. This training will introduce you to the general considerations and expectations for e-commerce projects. We work with several clients who produce e-commerce material and therefore need translations of documentation such as product descriptions, including product number, description of products, titles, material, extra such as long descriptions, and waived. In this case, our client is the preferred one-stop shopping solution for more than 10,000 promotional products. It also specializes in decorating and delivery services. These documents are aimed at current and potential customers and stakeholders, which you must bear in mind when making decisions about the target. The target must be clear and accurate to persuade current and potential customers and stakeholders to know and use our client's products. You will be working as a post editor, which means you will be assessing and making changes to a machine-generated target text. There are three main types of machine translation: rules-based, statistical, and neural. They each have their strengths and weaknesses. For example, rules-based machine translation won't add or omit information, but may well be very unnatural in terms of grammar or word order. Statistical machine translation is more fluid, but can introduce quite specific errors, such as including extra information which form part of a past translation in its memory. It is therefore important to know what you're dealing with, so you are alert to the errors you will need to fix. The role of the post editor is to check and edit the machine translation to produce a target which reaches the agreed quality level. You may also be asked to provide feedback on the entry quality and recurrent errors. When post-editing, you should read the source and then the machine-translated target and make a quick assessment as to whether the MT should be edited or completely retranslated. The MT should form the basis of the final target as far as possible. Make sure you're familiar with the guidelines for your specific project before starting, as each client has different NTP expectations. Always be aware of the common machine translation errors, which may be highlighted in the project instructions. For example, the machine may translate brand names where these are actually do not translate terms. It is particularly important when post-editing to know the client's quality expectations. Traditionally, there are two levels of post-editing, light and full. Light post-editing aims to create a comprehensible text, which it is, except it will not be comparable to human translation. Full post-editing creates a product which is comparable to human translation. However, in reality all clients have different expectations, and therefore we ask for post-editing in line with the provided guidelines, rather than either full or light post-editing. Your work will be revised and you will be sent feedback on your work. Depending on the project, the reviser may improve your file and produce the final file, or you may be asked to implement the changes and deliver the final files. Please check you are clear on this before starting the job and allow enough time. You will be marked using a QMS form, which will include categories such as style, fluency, accuracy, and compliance with client instructions. Errors will be rated as critical, major or minor, and you will generally receive a score, as well to give you an indication of your performance. When assessing your quality, we will also be looking at some localization elements, which will be noted in the instructions. For example, measurements and date formats should be converted to the standard for your target language. You should also ensure, for example, that periods and thousand separators are correctly used in numbers. Simplicity, consistency, and hierarchy are the key words for e-commerce projects. Customers want to have quick access to the essential information on the product, so any product description should be kept simple but accurate. If terms are not consistently used throughout the product descriptions, the user may not understand or be persuaded to use the product. This is doubly important for terms which are essential parts of the product descriptions, such as those referring to weight and material. Furthermore, each product description should have a purpose, and information should be clearly hierarchized so that it's easier for the customer to move through the contents. To help you produce the quality and consistency required, you will be provided with project-specific instructions. These aim to preempt some of the questions you may have during the project and guide you on what is expected from your translation. You will also receive some or all of the following: product glossary containing terms related to the product, terminology list. These contain terms such as product names and IT terminology, translation memory, TM. This has past translation which can be used to guide and provide context. Source file can be very helpful for context. Ask your PM if this has not been provided. Before and during your work, make sure you know what product is being referred to in your text. This is important for context and also to ensure you are using the correct terms. It can also be useful to have visual context which could be provided by the source text or an external reference file. Here are a few terms which may be new to you if you're working on e-commerce documentation for this first time, and there are, in the vast majority, sourced from the client website. These terms include, but are not limited to, e-commerce, promotional products, distributor, one-stop shop, promotional giveaway, user experience, product glossary, customer service, brand portfolio, product group. Your first point of call when you are unsure how to proceed is the linguistic instructions. The language analyst for the project will have tried to anticipate and answer any questions or issues you may have. The terminology list, product glossary, or other reference material could also help you to decide what to do. If these do not help, do your own research using either the product itself if you have access to it, or looking at the client's own resources online. Consistency is extremely important for e-commerce documentation, so if you have any doubts, please log a query. When you log a query, make sure you provide the full source and target segments, as well as any suggestion you may have from your own research, and any other context you can give the language lead or person answering your question. These are some issues you may need to deal with. A few are outlined here. Please read the project-specific instructions provided by the PM for any other potential issues the language analyst may have identified for your particular project. If you come across isolated strings, for example a single word, check the surrounding strings and TM to try and find the context for it. However, if you have any doubts, please log a query. Sometimes files contain odd symbols due to conversion and corruption errors. Often these happen around punctuation marks or letters with accents. Generally the context makes it clear what is meant, so please remove the unnecessary symbols and translate accordingly. You can log a query to flag to the team that there is an issue with the file. Placeholders are used where information will be automatically added later, for example the current time. Check your instructions, but these are not generally translated as they are part of the code. There can be legal issues around names. If you come across a name, the first thing to establish is whether it is real, for example the name of a company's CEO, or fictitious, used to create character rather than to represent an actual person. If it is real, obviously it must not be localized. If it is fictional, check the instructions for what to do. You may need to remove the surname as there are fewer concerns around first names on their own. Or you may need to select a name from a provided list. If in doubt, please send a query. And now, please complete the e-commerce documentation quiz. Thank you.